Welcome back to another Best Ball Mania draft. The puppy is filled, and we're back to the Best Ball Mania streets here. We are joined by our first guest on this for this year, and it is none other than Felix Castro, a Best Ball Millie Maker winner on DraftKings. That was in 2022.
21, 22, yep.
21, yeah. So,
Jamar Chase's rookie year.
Yeah, one of the best picks that year for sure.
Yes.
So we will hop into a Best Ball Mania draft right now.
Nick, you got to mute your we got echo here, Nick, from your Twitter.
What you're getting? I didn't even hear Nick. I haven't even heard Nick yet.
Yeah, we good. Yeah, we're
all right. We're good. Okay, so we're just waiting for this to fill. So, while this is waiting, Felix, how many drafts in are you currently on? Well, I guess since we're drafting on Underdog, how many have you done, like Best Ball Mania, other drafts combined?
So on Best Ball Mania, I am about 26 in. Big boards, I did about 75. So about 100 drafts in so far.
Okay.
How about you guys?
I'm Best Ball Mania. I'm 40 in, I think. And then I've just some of the smaller contests that come out. I'll try to, like the 20 maxes and the Pomeranians and stuff. I'll try to max those with some slow drafts here and there. But
yeah, I've been trying to max out all the little tournaments like the Schnauzers and all those. But I'm saving all the Best Ball Manias until like the last second I can, because just hoping I get some luck on my side, like with injuries and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So any late trades. So I'm just holding off on the Best Ball Mania.
Yeah, I did mine way too early last year. I tried to be done before training camp was starting, like right at that starting point, ending point, and that was not the strat. I'll tell you. I definitely failed last year because I had a bunch of Cooper Kupp, which was supposed to be coming in healthy and whatnot.
Yeah. Last year, a lot of those late drafters that scooped up all the Kyron and Puka were at such an advantage.
Yeah.
And every year, we're not going to have like something that crazy where they go from last round to like basically first rounders the next year.
You can get some good value, though, on the ADP movers and some of that. So there is some value of drafting early, too. But Liam
won June, I think, 19th, 2 years or 3 years ago.
So you can do it.
Pat Karanen won it in July, so it's like there has been the winners have come out of the earlier drafts, but
right.
Plus EV drafts are typically in August.
Yep. Mm-hmm. For me, it's more about like because I'm assuming you're maxing both DK and Best Ball Mania.
Yeah.
So and then drafters has their flag, so it's more of like you can wait, but then it's like. You're gonna be doing like 8 drafts a day, and if you're not you could do 2 at once, but then it's like, are you losing like a little bit of EV doing 2 at once? And then I don't know. It's just like if you're trying to get volume in, you kind of have to start a little early.
Agreed.
All right. Well, we got the 4th pick, boys. We thankfully didn't get the 7th or 8th, which is pretty much what it's always been. I was going to freak out if CD Lamb.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say that's unique.
I mean, my vote.
Well, I think we have to go Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it just, yeah. So, Felix, what round did you get Chase in his rookie season?
Okay, so he was going like mid-5, and then there was that news blurb that said he wasn't seeing the ball correctly.
Yeah, couldn't catch it.
And he fell a whole round. But I was still like, he fell even almost sometimes into the 7th for like, I guess, other people. But for me, I was like, if I don't for some reason draft him in the 5th, I'm going to draft him in the 6th no matter what. And so I had a very high share amount of Chase that year.
That was such a crazy report. Couldn't catch the ball because the stripes weren't on it like in college. You're like, what? This can't be.
Having trouble adjusting to the NFL football. I'm like, he's done.
Nick bought it and happy with that.
Yeah,
you was all over him, and I was like, no, can't catch the new football. Like he's out.
In our auction drafts, he was going for like $8.
Yeah, he's in my my one dynasty auction draft league.
I mean,
awesome. Now we got rookies going in the first, second round here.
So, are you guys drafting Marvin Harrison at the time? I just told you guys recently, so like I haven't watched all.
So we're kind of been in like a mixed boat where it was like we were kind of like, okay, we were talking about how we were like Jamar Chase was a rookie and I thought he was a better prospect. He was going so much later. Now Marvin Harrison's just like basically like a first rounder practically. Yeah. And it was kind of like I'm out, but then I was like, well, how many targets do we think he's going to get a game? Yeah. And then Corey was, what did you say? You're like, I don't know, 10 to 12. And I'm like, if you're telling me Marvin Harrison's going to get 10 to 12 targets a game, which I mean,
it's pretty realistic.
It's just Trey McBride. And then, I mean, yeah, they have like Greg Dortch and these other guys. But if he gets that type of volume, I mean, and it's because he gets like a pretty good matchup in the fantasy playoffs. And
I do like what this guy did who took him just now, because you get that early week 17 stack with Puka. And then even if you didn't get Puka at the turn, like you could get Cooper Kupp in the third a lot of the times there. So I do like getting that early week 17 stack. I don't think we have a ton of shares of him though, but we haven't picked a ton at the turn or like at 10 or 11 where you get that. But
what do you think of him?
I'm fully out on him.
Really?
And I understand what you guys are saying with that he might get 10 to 12, but I don't trust that coach, Shane Steichen, or not Shane Steichen, whatever his name is.
Jonathan Gannon.
Jonathan Gannon, thank you. He said like the first day he was so excited to watch James Conner run up the gut. Like that's what he was excited for him to do. Like, oh my God, like what kind of play calls are we gonna get here? Like, I don't know. I just don't trust that coach.
Yeah.
I hadn't really got him at all until the Puppy 2, and I was just a little bit more intrigued with Trey McBride and Kyler Murray.
Nick, let's make our pick here.
Oh yeah. I like Waddle.
I haven't gotten a whole lot of Waddle. I don't know why, but I do want to. I like. Do you like Waddle?
Yeah, I like Waddle. Yeah.
Let's do it.
I have a share of Waddle in the 4th round from earlier this season on DraftKings.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That is wild.
He was going at he got a lot of rise just because of he got that contract extension.
Yep.
And once he got that extension, he went up like immediately 6 picks, and then he's just been slowly rising since then.
Yeah. I mean, those games Tyreek was out, he was putting up 30-point games. So
I like him, but he goes out of the game very easily. Like if his toes hurting, if he breathes wrong, I don't know, man.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah, they were building wide receiver depth this offseason for a reason. So
yeah.
All right. So I'm okay with. I guess. I mean, DK. We don't have I feel like we have no shares of DK.
I just like DJ more than DK, but.
What do you guys think about Cooper Kupp?
Seems like he's healthy again.
I mean, I see the upside case for Kupp, but I usually only take him if
Puka just did so good.
Yeah, but
not the two of them can't live
that. I mean, he doesn't have to in the 3rd round, but like having like that crazy year again.
Well, if you get DK, you have at least a different bye week than Waddle as well.
Right.
Let's take Kupp.
Well, do you want to take Kupp?
Flip flopping, Corey?
Yeah, let's take Kupp.
No,
too late.
We'll take DK.
This is what happens when you have 5. When you end up with 5 people.
You just got to split the votes with 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we don't have a whole lot of DK Metcalf, so
not really.
He's a good pick too. Ben Grubbs it's Grubbs is a great Gibbs. I don't remember his last name.
Gretsch,
something like that.
I don't know, something with the G. And his new offense from coming out of Washington is a pretty high flying offense, so they should be passing the ball. It might be like less targets for DK, but it should be more production probably.
Well, then you got to think like how much do you like Geno? Because I'm not a Geno guy at all. I think he's a one-hit wonder, if that. I mean, the reason he was a backup for 10 years. And I understand it's not about Geno, it's about DK, but I just that's probably one of the reasons why I don't have many DK shouts, because I just once I see Geno come up, I'm just like, nah, can't.
Well, I think they brought in Hal to throw that ball around. He's gonna take sacks. He's gonna have a lot of sacks, but he's gonna like hold the ball to like throw it. I guess he's not gonna throw it away like Geno.
A lot if he's getting a lot of sacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for JSN the most on that.
Yeah, I love JSN.
I think he could have that year 2 breakout.
Yeah, he's literally like one of my highest owned receivers is JSN.
I think Lockett's 32 now, right? So we should expect a little decline from him.
But what are some of your top exposures, Felix, right now?
I mean, there's always going to be Najee for me.
I figure we're taking him on this.
I'm at 90% on DK and 85 on underdog.
You have 90% of Najee and 85% of him on both sides.
Yeah.
So so to get that, are you
taking him in the 7th? Just take him in the 7th.
I was gonna say, like, you're not ever getting like a falling Najee, are you?
No. I'm okay with that though.
Okay. Because like there are times, I mean, he's not a guy that typically falls much.
But this is like the way I looked at it, is like I could have gotten a falling Jamar Chase potentially, but then I was also potentially like I don't get him, and then I do want him, and then I do think this is his best opportunity coming up, like to not only for end zone trips, like
so what's your exposure to Jalen Warren?
Like 10%, 5%. I'll combine them. I don't mind.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, you're that much more confident in Najee than in Jalen Warren?
Yes.
Interesting.
I look at the offense the way he ran it when he was in Tennessee. That's like the last time we could see him as an OC. And there was Deion Bush as the secondary running back. Oh, we're on the clock.
45. So we have DK, Waddle, Chase. I mean,
I'd say Pacheco or Scary Terry.
I was going to say
I'm fine with McBride, Pacheco, or
I like McBride or McLaurin.
Hollywood. I don't mind reaching on Hollywood either.
Gotta go quick.
All right, we'll take Terry.
Terry's fine.
Or McBride. Yeah. Okay.
McLaurin.
I mean, I always like the heavyweight. Okay, so yeah, that's going to lead us into the next question. What roster construction do you think is the best? Like, if you had to like rank them, like with the standard, like hero RB, double hero RB, zero RB, like double, like bully tight end, like whatever the names are, like what do you think this year on underdog specifically is the best way?
On underdog, I would say zero RB works the best because for some reason everybody's allergic to running backs out here. So
yeah,
like you get so many good values on here. At the same moment, like Najee goes about 10 picks earlier on underdog than he does on DraftKings. So sometimes you find different kind of values here and there.
Right. But I am in 100% agreement with you that zero RB is the superior roster construction.
And on underdog, I've been doing a lot more elite tight end, like elite and then either punt it off or I probably stop at like David Njoku as like the end of the
elite tier
viable, one tight end before you just punt it off.
Not streamers, yeah.
What's your elite tight end of choice?
McBride for sure, because I'm going a lot of Cooper Kupp as well.
All right, I don't mind getting.
You get him here,
right? Especially as a faller.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it opens us up to like we have a lot of we have Burrow, we have Tua, we can get, we have Jalen or Jaden Daniels, Kyler. Like we have a lot.
I love getting at least one elite tight end or one of the top QBs.
Yeah.
In this like 4 and 5 range.
I take that back. I'm kind of out on the elite quarterbacks.
Okay.
But I'm more in because I'm on like the resurgence of like Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert.
Let's go.
Like those guys. So like
let's go.
Interesting.
Oh, you're speaking speaking my language over there with the Lawrence. He's like my highest owned quarterback.
I'm also a big fan of Gabe Davis, so that's entirely why I have so much.
He's got to go. Sorry,
you and BB must have been hanging out
did you
before.
message him before this episode?
I have 76% Gabe Davis currently.
Oh my God.
Great minds think alike. I'm not that exposed to Gabe Davis, but I like the idea.
I just think that I think Gabe is better than Zay Jones, and I think Brian Thomas has the ability to be better than Calvin Ridley. And so then you already see the offensive being upgraded. Better offensive line that they brought in so far.
I saw a crazy stat. Calvin Ridley missed 7 touchdowns last season because he didn't have 2 feet in bounds.
Yeah,
in the end zone.
Yeah, Ian Hardaway had like a video of like him dropping all those passes.
Video. Yeah, that was crazy. Some drops in there too.
Yeah, that's nutty.
Oh my God, I can't believe
I'm not quite as high on Brian Thomas. My jag of choice is Christian Kirk, but.
Yeah, I would get more Brian Thomas, but he goes in the same spot as where I get Najee.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's your exposure to 7th round players?
Probably 1% to 0 on most of them.
Okay, yeah. So basically, like that's an opportunity cost thing that you obviously must have like looked at and said, I don't care for any of these 7th rounds. So like,
they're all the same.
What are some of the guys in there? I honestly,
Brian Thomas, Jordan Addison.
I don't like those guys.
McConkey's one I wish I'd get more of, but at the same token,
here we go.
It's a little bit wild. Yeah. Rasheed Rice, I don't not take in. Deontay, I do grab him if he makes it to me in the 8th. Kamara, I'm out on.
My favorite wide receiver out of that bunch right there.
Yeah, I had Keon Coleman is an easy fade.
Easy fade for me, yeah. I like JSN. Usually he's there though, at least on DraftKings.
Yeah, it is like a decent range, I guess, to just be in on Najee.
Yeah,
man,
we're pretty heavily obviously, like if Najee just absolutely crushes, like you're just gonna be able to leverage the field so much. But like I'm taking a lot of Najee and Warren. I'm a little more.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with Warren. Like I like Warren. I'm making the bet with the guy that won me $1 million. He's in the contract.
That offensive line. New QB should get more red zone opportunities.
Yeah.
So I think even if they do, say they take the Falcons 60-40 split from last year, they're still going to have more opportunities than they did in years past. So
better opportunities
be able to exceed what they did before.
Matt Canada was running delayed shotgun handoffs, and I'm like. Yeah. Najee needs a head of steam, and like he just wasn't getting it. It was
to think he actually had a decent year, and that was with Matt Canada. To your point,
Rome went.
We could go Kung Fu Kenny here and build that Seattle stack a little.
I think we're going to be able to get Najee still.
Yeah, he'll be there in 6 picks.
Yeah.
I would say
I like Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny would. We'd be really in on Seattle. We would open up to Herbert if we took McConkey.
That's true.
I'm fine. We need a running back.
Yeah, we need.
Yeah, I just.
So we still have Geno and Jaden available,
and we have Burrow
and Kyler. Still,
you can still build a full Washington stack.
We can still build a Tua stack. We can still build if we can get a falling Burrow. We still have, then we could add on.
I saw Burrow going 119th, I think, today.
Yeah, you can push it. If you take Chase and Higgins, you can push it to the hundreds if you're in a sharper room.
I was in a sharp room the other day with a professional baseball player named Justin Steele. And
wow, yeah.
And he had this perfect Miami stack. He pushed Tua to the next round. Right in front of him, I was drafted, and I took him. Naked Tua.
You took it, and is this on
DraftKings.
So is this in the Millie Maker too?
Yeah. They were just doing a random stream, and he was so excited to get this nice build, and I just.
So did you do it for?
Yeah, I did it for the bit. Everybody was being nice to each other in that lobby, and I was like, "This is going to create a little chaos."
Oh, that's funny.
Are you I'm a huge. I've said multiple times on here. There needs to be a chat room established inside of these apps.
there was a chat room in the DraftKings playoffs the first year that I made it to the playoffs, and I was talking all this smack, and then I was like, obviously I had no idea I was actually going to win it that year, but like I was having so much fun on there, but people were very, very negative. I have a feeling it was probably one of the reasons it got.
Yeah, it would be terrible. I feel like it would just be like a cesspool. Like people just like we said, an old
but you be able to air your grievances for people who did what you did, taking a naked Tua after you stacked everyone. I'd be oh my god, I'd be livid. But
put $1 million online, awesome. People will go crazy.
Yeah.
To be fair, the last I think the last two best ball million winners have gotten their quarterbacks sniped. So
the guy last year got someone, and then he got Jordan Love, right?
Yeah, he got Jared Goff sniped from him, so he went with Jordan Love.
Well, turned out pretty well.
Yeah, $3 million.
I think the point with a lot of people when they say that is like, even when you get sniped, sometimes people like have meltdowns and they just like completely collapse. Instead of like saying like, oh, like there's still all these other outs, I can still make a decent team. Like there's always Drake May in the the 17th round.
I mean, I'm a little worried about Drake May. Everybody's got me worried about him.
I think people just have, it's just like where he goes in drafts. It's like, we know all the Patriots go at the end of drafts. It's easy to like have that in your back pocket if you need it, because your other stacks get sniped.
Yeah, but there's a really good possibility that he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
I think Brissett is going to start.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like, even if like, and say Brissett gets to 8 games and they're 5-3, like.
I don't see that happening, but
I'm just saying, like, then it holds off Drake May.
I think it's just weeks. You're banking on Drake May having more of the end of the season, and
you're not relying on Drake May to get you through weeks of first 8 weeks, but I mean, it's still scary when he's not playing, if he doesn't play that much.
So I'm guessing Burrow and
Kyler went to an unstacked.
Okay, so right now we're looking at Tua, Geno. We can wait probably one more for Jaden Daniels after this pick.
I wouldn't hate a Swift bring back for the Seattle.
That's true. Yep.
And we could be done with running backs.
Not done.
Not done, but you know what I mean.
You could pause on him for a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say Swift or Curtis Samuel, but Swift makes sense.
I think Swift's going to have a really good year. I
love Swift this year.
I think he's going to be relied on more than what people may think. Like, just think the Bears are going to be a fully air-rated offense, and I think he's going to have a lot of good opportunities.
Yeah, I can't imagine him facing a lot of stacked boxes with those 3 receivers lined up on the outside, right?
I mean, how are those 3 receivers going to be on the field, though? Keenan Allen's an old man. He always gets hurt. As a Chargers fan, he's always gets hurt, man. Always.
Oh, yeah, you're a Chargers fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I love me some Justin Herbert, and, so let me honestly ask you, do you think they should have traded him this year and moved up to get a quarterback? No.
He's one of the lifetime generation type quarterback. He
is. I totally agree with you. But there's like rumblings, like people.
What are we going to trade him up for? JJ?
I mean, you get that. So
you got to keep Herbert.
Were you hyped for Harbaugh to come in, or?
Yeah, I was. Okay, so I'm also a Michigan fan. So this is like, it was a great year.
What's your Blake Corum exposure?
It's actually fairly low because I think it's kind of crazy. He's going 120.
All right. We going Daniel? Yeah.
Love that.
Though I played him every slate in regular college football DFS.
It probably worked out. What I was saying, this is back to an earlier point when we were discussing. DJ Moore went right before us. They are. I think DK Metcalf's ADP might be even 1 pick higher. To me, it's like it's a very similar situation. You have you have 3 receivers on both sides, and then it's just like the quarterback. To me, I think Caleb is going to be really good. So like DJ Moore over DK Metcalf, such an easy click for me.
I like both of them. I think you're picking at straws there. I just think DJ Moore has a better upside just because I do think Keenan Allen's gonna pull a hammy or like I really do think like he is the epitome of like fragile.
Yeah, he unfortunately is. But
like everybody said, you can't predict injuries, right? Like, okay, I won't predict injuries. I'm not. He's gonna get hurt. He's gonna miss some time, at least sometime this year.
I'm not predicting him, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
he's won me decent when he has played.
Yeah, when he plays, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's just like with Big Mike. I'm so glad we got rid of him too. It's like when he's on the field, one of the best wide receivers out there, but he doesn't know how to land, so he gets hurt every other game.
Okay, so what about Quentin Johnson?
He's just trash. He's just trash.
You're not gonna, you don't give him one more. I mean, obviously you give him.
I mean, I have high hopes for him because he torched the coach that he torched his own coach right now. Like I have high hopes, but I don't think it's going to go well.
Yeah.
So who's like your wide receiver one there, Ladd?
It's Ladd, then Palmer, and then I'm actually really big on Hurst. There.
Okay.
Interesting.
Like Lamar with Mark Andrews. It'll be Herbert with.
Is it Hurst that has all the concussions, or was it something?
He
else?
had a really bad concussion last year, but I also feel like it was Panthers suck. I don't really want to play for a shitty team.
Yeah, I'm not going to risk it for nothing.
Right.
You get to that.
Yeah, he's not bad too. He's kind of a sneaky pick now that you say that.
Yeah. Well, people are talking about Parham and like all this other like all the backup tight ends. I'm like, it's gonna be Hurst. He's a first round talent, and he got ousted out of Baltimore because they had Mark Andrews, and then he just hasn't found the right place since then.
Yeah.
And now he has
arms pretty large though. He's a good.
Yeah, I don't blame them. Yeah.
Giant human.
I don't know if he's like a 3-down type of tight end though.
Yeah.
Probably get used a lot in blocking schemes.
It's true.
All right, who are we looking at here, boys?
I was gonna say, I mean, what's Tua's ADP? It's like 120 something.
Yeah,
so we could probably push him because we still have.
Yeah, we
got. I would like Mike Williams if he's still there.
We could go. Let's see.
Or just get Tua.
I think we could probably. I mean, what do you think? I think we can maybe get.
What do we talk about the other day? Like, it's 6 picks before he goes. Like, I mean, yeah, we have Jaden Daniels, but I mean, we were just talking about how Mike Williams just like he's never available.
Yeah, I don't think we should. I don't really like Mike that much, unless you like are.
That's what I'm saying. So
I'd rather get Tua and maybe get Judy.
Take Tua, don't like risk it for zero reason, and then take whatever best available.
Yeah, that's what my flaw. I mean, you can't like yes, we have Jaden Daniels, but I mean we can also.
Well, the only reason on this team I was okay with pushing Tua a little bit is because we still have. I mean, we have Metcalf and Swift and Kenneth Walker already. I was like, oh, we could take Geno, but so in those situations, sometimes I'll push the quarterback a little bit, and. What was it? There was like ADP guys before Tua. They're like Caleb and someone else. But if Judy's there, Judy probably makes sense here.
Makes most sense.
Yeah.
Or Jerome Ford.
We're gonna have to play this game.
Go Nick. I mean,
so
are you on the Ford or Chubb side of?
I'm avoid that situation.
Really?
Yeah, I if I was in this spot right here, I would take Chase Brown. Like I avoid that situation. I'm avoiding the Dallas situation entirely.
But Chase Brown just went. What about like the run back for Miami?
I would take Judy or Joku. I try not to grab too much Cooper, but I will grab Cooper occasionally.
Yeah, so I think Judy makes, especially we need a receiver.
Yeah.
He's going to be awesome.
You'd hope so.
Yeah.
All right, so here's my thing on Jerome Ford versus Nick Chubb.
Okay.
I think Jerome Ford is a wildly worse pick than Nick Chubb because even if Chubb comes back and he isn't, or when he comes back and he's not the same person, Jerome Ford is going to be extremely limited. We have a new offensive coordinator that's going to go pass heavy. So I think the run game itself will take a step back. And I just don't think Jerome Ford's going to like split carries with Chubb, especially like when you're in the playoffs, like week 14 through 17. He's just going to have like no value. Weeks like 1 through 6, sure. But like I feel like there's so many better picks at that range.
Ken Dorsey runs a 2-back system. And I only know that because he had 3 backs in Carolina when he was using all 3 when Cam Newton was the MVP that year. He used all 3 of his running backs, and then he used both Devin Singletary and the guy that's in Cincinnati right now, Zach Moss. He used both of those guys. So he kind of uses the 2-back system fairly evenly. So I don't think you can go wrong if you really want one of the Browns guys.
I just don't see him like being a huge part of that offense like at the end of the year. Could be wrong, but
they could be saving Nick if they're in the like playoff contention.
Yeah. Like, why would you give a guy that just came off of a horrible knee injury, like not just like a clean ACL, it was like multiple things in that knee, and you just right before like
put him on a snap count for a little bit, but
but I don't think for a little bit. I think he would just be he would never have just like this Nick Chubb workload that you're used to seeing. I don't think he's getting that this year. And then maybe if they're in the playoffs and he's shown really good progress, they up it more. But I don't even think then he sees a full workload.
We have a tough schedule though. Like I don't think we're going to be able to like sit back for at any point in the season. Our division's so competitive.
I just think about the year that I won it. I had Derrick Henry on a ton of my teams, and like when he came back, he wasn't like the same guy that year. And I feel like it's obviously a longer period of time that he's getting time to heal, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'm trying to avoid all injury.
There's a huge risk to it, no matter what.
I'm not touching TJ Hawkinson. I'm not touching Chubb. I'm not really.
What about Jonathan Brooks? Because I'm on the same camp as you, where like running backs that are injured, like I don't really want anything to do with them or other players in general. If it's bad enough, like I don't really want to like attack those guys. But obviously, youth comes into play, and
I've taken a couple shares of Brooks, but I haven't got too many. I'm usually grabbing Singletary. Again, I am biased to the people that won me $1 million, and Singletary was on that team. So I will say that I go that route.
I like some Singletary. I think just getting guys, if they end up being the lead back in their backfield, like they're going to have, consistent, volume.
Here's another one: Zeke or Rico.
I'm avoiding completely. I'm not touching on that too. I think they're going to be competing for the number 1 pick this year. I think they're going to be that bad this year. I think they're going to be bad.
I think their offensive line is
decimated. Their defense is trash. Like I'm not touching any of that.
You think the Cowboys are going to be contending for the number 1 pick?
Yeah.
So you got to be picking up some.
I already bet the unders, and
you better take some shares of Trey Lance then, if that's the case.
All right,
I have thought about it,
here, boys.
Not Nick Chubb. I'm going to say one of those running backs. Obviously, like we're big Rico guys, but
I like Marshawn Lloyd too.
I would say Lloyd.
I'm fine with Lloyd, Rico.
I feel like we have no Marshawn Lloyd, and we talk about him all the time. We never get him. We have plenty of Rico at this point in time. Well, and we'll definitely get more, but change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I love Lloyd.
It's funny that you say that the Cowboys like are competing for the number 1 pick because we have a closeted Cowboys fan in here.
It's the one thing you've said that PB has not wholeheartely agreed upon.
That's true.
I feel like you can't say that I'm the only person. I don't even think the Cowboys like haters in this group would think they would be contending for the number 1 overall pick.
So you play a scenario in your head where they pay Dak all this money, and he's pretty fragile, I think, and they just have like a mediocre year. Like they get to week 12, and they're like almost 500, maybe 1 game behind 500. Like do they just call it in and they just ship everyone off that they have? Like Jerry Jones is a very impatient man, and they haven't won a Super Bowl or been to realistically like a good like playoff win in so long that, especially after what the Packers went and did to him last year, like you could easily see them just.
Well, let's go with this pick real quick.
Burton,
Burton,
I mean,
yeah.
Jalen Wright
just
for
went off
stack purpose.
I mean, we could take, Jalen Wright at least. It would definitely fit our stack.
Yeah,
and I mean, I barely have any right, but I guess with this team,
I'm good with McLaughlin too.
Playing against Cincinnati.
What's your take on Vidal?
I don't know, man. I watched his highlight tape. I was kind of excited before they got drafted. Then he went to my Chargers, and I'm like, does he fit like the Chargers like scheme? Like, I don't know. I honestly, if it's like if we're gonna go like to pair it with other Greg Roman offenses, I think he's like the Justice Hill type, a little bit smaller, fairly quick. He'll produce if he needs to. Like he'll be
third down back.
Enough. Yeah. I feel like they brought in Gus and JK for just to be the bruisers.
I feel like Dobbins is just it's like once a running back suffers an Achilles, I'll never they're on my permanent fade list. I'll never take an Achilles off a running back. Yeah, and so to me, it's like a Gus versus Vidal, unless they bring someone else in, which I don't think they will. I think it's going to be like one of them will drastically pay off their ADP.
I guess I'm pretty high on Jalen Wright this year. I have 23%.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he fits a lot of my teams because I do like Njoku, even without Joe Flacco.
Yeah, he had a breakout year last year for sure.
So I mean, we're at 5 running backs, but we did kind of take them in this condensed range. What are you comfortable with? Like, I mean, you could stop at 5 here, but
I usually stop at 5. Yeah.
You think you would stop at 5 in this room?
Yeah, because we got 2 solid running backs.
Najee, Swift. Yeah, we could stop at 5 here.
We have 3 solid running backs, and then we have 2 high upside running backs for late season potentially.
I'm just thinking because I don't think we need the thing is I don't think we need a third quarterback. I mean, we could take Geno if he like really fell, but I don't think we take him at ADP. Then we already have an elite tight end with McBride, so usually you only want 2. So then it's like we're for sure getting 8 receivers. Like we need some more receiver firepower. But
I think we're actually in a pretty good spot. We could kind of just draft whoever like best available, like go to the team. Like if you wanted nobody's really high on the Panthers, it feels like, but if you wanted like a Panther second, you go Thielen, Jatavian Sanders, and Bryce Young. If you wanted to, it depends on what you kind of feel like you're drafting at that point, or if you want to fill up another stack. I think you guys were good in every kind of spot right now.
Yeah. I mean, this could be Benson. This could be Benson out here. Finish off with the stack with Washington and get that. I mean, I know he's a rookie tight end and in a weird situation, but
never know. There seems to be one every year breaking the mold. So
yeah,
I actually do like taking New England and Carolina guys late here because if someone's going to pay off their late ADPs here, and like obviously just terrible teams, but
I've been on the New England guys. Like I rotate Bourne, DeMario, Javon Baker. Jalen Polk's probably my least favorite of the bunch, but
trying to figure out those 2 wide receiver rooms in New England and Carolina are just throwing darts in the dark.
So I think it's just gonna be Thielen and Deontay. Yeah,
Deontay, but then they got Xavier pretty early. Like
I think he's I think he's Quentin Johnson-esque. Kind of a project.
I've seen they're going to try to use him like Debo a little bit in like the run game with screens and stuff like that. So it's like
so he's going to be Laviska Shenault.
Yeah.
Nobody's Debo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leggett is nothing like Debo.
Yeah.
I like Deontay a lot, though.
Yeah, I do. He gets open.
Is Luke McCaffrey around? I mean, I don't know.
He got drafted, I thought. No,
and then, like, is Mingo just, like, out of the picture completely now?
What's our next pick, Alex?
72.
We got 172, then 189, and 190.
I think we pushed McCaffrey. I think we – and then What do you think? What do you like between like Bateman, Wandell, Michael Wilson, DeMarcus? Do you like any of those guys? I like getting Giants receivers because I think one of them is gonna.
I end up go with Hyatt, but like that's just where I go. So like I don't. This is all you guys.
What do you guys think?
We have no Bateman. I mean,
yeah,
I don't mind taking Bateman here.
Okay,
you get at least a couple of matchups with the Cleveland, Cincinnati games,
and you have to assume that someone outside of Hollywood Brown,
someone's going to emerge. Yeah.
Obviously, Andrews is there, but they need someone else on the outside.
Zay Flowers, you mean?
Yeah.
What I'd say.
Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
You're thinking a few years back.
Zay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean Devontae Walker is like his only competition. So.
Yeah. I've been taking a decent amount of Bateman. I liked him kind of like coming into the NFL and then just never really did it or had a lot of opportunity, but I
feel like Isaiah Likely could even outscore Bateman personally.
I like Likely as well, and I think Likely could have a role plus really high contingent upside if Andrews goes down.
Yeah, I think he has a role no matter what too, just because he did so well last year.
So I won the Week 17 Battle Royale, so I have a little bias towards Isaiah Likely as well.
Oh, and the underdog dailies.
Yeah. That was the first time I probably did ended up winning it by like 15 points.
What's first in those dailies on the battle royals?
I think it was normally it's like 25, but I think Week 17 was 20.
20K.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm actually this year I was talking to some people and I think those daily drafts might be some of the softest like form of.
Well, everybody on Underdog's like pretty strict to ADP. You don't see too much movement on Underdog. People don't reach or don't like
right.
So you can just scroll down just a little bit, you get a unique team.
And get like super low on like guys that
like I got Devontae Adams and apparently he wasn't drafted on all the teams like that week. And he had like a 40 burger, so like
damn.
Yeah. I'm gonna be doing more of those this year.
The Likely talk, he cost me $100K in DFS last year when they were playing the Bengals and I didn't have him. And he caught. They threw. Lamar Jackson was even playing. The game was out of hand. They're down by like 15 points, and like 10 seconds ago, the clock is running. Snap the ball, and they throw him one dink pass, and I go from winning like $100K to winning like 500. I was absolutely devastated.
The swings
sounds like that Noah Fant touchdown that lost me the Millie Maker.
Is that why you have a grudge against Noah Fant?
Yeah, from 2 years ago, of course. I think we were all down at Corey's place in Florida, and I was in first place, and Noah Fant catches a touchdown with like 8 seconds left, and like, of course, the guy had him.
We were like anyone but Noah Fant. Noah Fant.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cover him at some point at the end of this. Well, I guess since hopefully John is here, we'll take him. What do you think of? What are your favorite late round tight ends? I know you said you like getting an elite one, but what are some of your favorite late clicks?
So the Jatavian Sanders click, Daniel Bellinger, and Hayden Hurst are usually my go-tos.
Interesting. Bellinger is one that I was thinking like, is it going to be him? Is it going to be Theo Johnson? Like
I think Theo Johnson's not really like he's a rookie, and I don't mind drafting rookie tight ends, but I don't think he's ready to take on that like role as the lead tight end. And when Daniel Bellinger was the lead tight end, he wasn't like dominating, but he was like going 4 for 50, which is great for your last round tight end. Yeah.
Yeah, PBs is what? What's your last clicks, Peeps?
Fant, Chig. Those are like some of my 2 favorite tight ends, and like running back Elijah Mitchell and CEH. I think are the best running back clicks.
Yeah, a lot of people like CEH.
Yeah, CEH is like my highest owned running back, I think, and Elijah Mitchell is high up there. I think we need to finish this draft with 2 receivers.
Yeah.
I mean, we can basically do whatever we want here. I mean, we could take Zay.
I mean, we could get. I think we get one of Odell or Malik Washington.
I would say Malik Washington just to
I like Malik better. Yeah.
I think we can wait on Malik. I think we get the other one here. So go back. We'll get Malik. I think I like Zay or George. I don't know.
George,
yeah.
Zay,
yeah, I don't care.
One of them. Do you like Zay or George more?
I like Zay because he has on underdog you want more touchdowns than you do PPR, and George is more of a PPR kind of guy. Zay's going to be there for his occasional 2 weeks out of the 17. He's gonna have a couple good games. He's not gonna George. He's going to be more consistent, but it's going to be did you really need that 7 points or
6 for 60 or something?
Yeah, it's not going to be what you don't really. He's not going to contribute enough to this team.
I think on DraftKings is a late. If you just need some wide receiver firepower, you'd go more George.
Yeah.
So Felix, I saw you post. I mean, it was probably 2 weeks ago. Your exposure and when you're running.
People light up my exposures every time.
Audric Estime. So PB and Nick would go at it about Audric Estime for hours. So what is your thought process behind Audric Estime?
All right. Well, one, I think Javonte could get moved. I don't think he will this year, but he could. Mm-hmm. Also, he's a little bit fragile, and he's going to be the goal line back. I think he could start right away as the goal line back for that team.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
And what's his face?
Jaleel.
No, I'm talking about the coach. Sean Payton likes to use so many different kind of backs.
True, he does.
Yeah. And if Javonte, who has been injured a few times now, I don't think it's Jaleel taking the lead role. I think they wouldn't bring in 2 running backs if they felt comfortable with their current 2, I guess is what I thought.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I think Jaleel's probably more passing game, third down back, but they're still going to need a first down, second down, red zone type of guy.
I don't know. I think Javonte can still be the third down back. I don't know if Jaleel McLaughlin has the pass protection down yet, but
Javonte can do it all.
Javonte is my was right up there with CEH as my high stoned.
As somebody that gets hurt so much, maybe we want to spell him off with a big fat running back, and for a 20th round pick, he works pretty well on DraftKings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's certain backfields that I'm trying, the ones that their other teams' handcuffs go earlier, but some teams don't. For example, the Ravens. It's the Ravens' handcuff is undrafted pretty much. Whether it's Rasheen Ali, who I've started to take. I feel you're just getting low ownership.
He tore his bicep in the Shrine Bowl game, and it's I was taking a bunch of Ali in the big board, but I haven't taken as much because I'm not entirely sure which one. Yeah, I take a lot of Will Shipley as well lately on DraftKings because I'm not entirely sure. It's not a bad pick. Kenneth Gainwell was a good pick, but they brought in Shipley, who came out of high school as a highly touted prospect.
Yeah, and obviously Shipley has to have more upside than Gainwell.
Yeah.
So it's you're just making a way higher upside bet on an unknown situation. We've seen Gainwell over and over.
Yeah.
So yeah, some backfields I'm just okay, well, all these other teams handcuffs, or
I'm taking a lot of Evan Hull as well. If we're talking about other people's backups.
The Colts is another one. But I think that one's a little more dicey for me because I don't know, Trey Sermon maybe. Especially since Evan Hull just had a big.
You can't believe in Trey Sermon.
Well, I like Evan Hull, but it's because he's coming off of an ACL.
Yeah,
and Trey Sermon came in and played well for us in the weeks that.
So that's more. I'm a little more worried about that one. Well, with Baltimore, Justice Hill, I don't.
Yeah,
I think Rasheen Ali might just be the better upside, Will Shipley.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Keaton Mitchell's he tore his ACL week 16 or something.
Yeah.
So.
Which he wasn't available on DraftKings last year. Which is
crazy.
Because I was trying to draft, I was looking for him because I was fairly high on him in the big board,
who was that before the draft? The draft started for us.
Isaac Garendo when we were trying to get him.
He wasn't in there for a while,
but now I'm not drafting him at all.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not touching him now.
No,
which it could be a mistake. Who knows with the Shanahan?
Right. All right. Let's quickly review this draft. We got 4 wide receiver start, pretty standard for a lot of our drafts. Then we went with elite tight end McBride, hammered some running backs, including one of Felix's favorites there, Najee Harris. Then we hit both of our quarterbacks here with Jaden Daniels to McLaurin and Tua to Waddle. Add on some run backs with Judy and stack it up with Jalen Wright, Ben Sinnott, Jonnu, Malik Washington, and then we throw in Bateman, Zay Jones, and Marshawn Lloyd for some one-offs there. So team came together real nicely for a 5-man draft. We got it done. So I don't know. Do you guys have any more questions for Felix and any other player takes that I'm trying to think of other situations that we seem to argue over that we need to have
you want to find a tiebreaker for?
I think we
so far I feel like it's I don't know. I definitely liked a lot of the earlier stuff you were saying. I forget all what it was, but
there was a minute there I was like, you gave him a script.
Oh, roster construction. I guess that was. What do you think is the worst roster construction in this landscape in 2024 Best Ball Mania?
I mean, if you go underdog, you're dead if you do robust. I think if you go more than two in the first,
you're dead.
6 rounds, you're dead. You just can't. There's just so many wide receivers going off the board. It's just the inverse of what you used to be drafting. You couldn't really go back in the day. You couldn't draft wide receivers early because the running backs were going off. So it's just the inverse of what it used to be doing.
Right, and that's what I try to tell, especially Nick right here, because he tries to tell me you can load up on running backs because you're zigging what everyone else like. And I'm telling him that by doing that, it's making your team worse, where everyone else is getting the late running back value and these amazing receivers. Your opportunity cost is so much higher.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not taking the extreme side of saying like go 4 RBs off the bat. I'm just saying I think taking 5 wide receivers is dumb.
I do
off the bat because like you're guaranteeing one of your top 5 picks is not putting up points for you in a given week. So I'm just like go a little bit more running back heavy.
But I also think that you could be okay with going 2 RBs or 3 RBs even later into August when you kind of know backfields and wide receiver tandems, like wide receivers you think that you can sneak in late that are going to get work. I think all constructions can work. Like hit them with the gritty, goes double elite quarterback and stuff like that. I think you can technically make anything work if you just happen to get lucky.
Yeah.
Well,
gotta get different somehow here.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, I think that's everything here. Do you guys have anything else for Felix?
No,
thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To Best Ball Nation.
Shout out Best Ball Nation. Go check out Felix's channel.
Yeah. Appreciate
All right.
it.
Well, that'll do it. Hopefully, maybe, when it gets closer to the season, we'll run another one of these back. But thank you for joining us. And we'll be back on Monday at 8:30 Central. Please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. Helps out the channel a lot. And we will see you Monday.